Welcome, guys, to another episode of Stuck in the Phantom Zone. I'm your host, Steven, and I have my co-host with me today, Scott, Neil. Unfortunately, RC's not here today, but he gave me some thoughts that he wants me to share on the pod, so he's here with us in spirit. So guys, how you doing today? Everything all right?
Rough work day, but
We
+2
here.
mentality.
Hey, we have the plus. Hey, we have
minus
the plus
69 mentality.
Nice. Okay, I'm not going that far yet, but +2. We're trying to keep the +2 mentality. Other people, our hometown team can't really. They haven't shown it yet, but I think we all have shown our +2 mentality. So
every year is a +2 mentality as a Jaguars fan.
Yeah,
+2.
We've basically like coated our shields with +2 mentality, so we won't get disappointed. But it still hurts. But we'll talk about that later. That's a very good tease to how we're gonna end the show. But we're gonna start with some trailers. Two, I think, big trailers dropped in the past couple days. So let's just get let's start with the Matrix. Let's start with that, because this this movie hasn't come out since I think 2003. Matrix Revolutions.
That was a bad movie. It was like, yeah.
I don't even remember it, man.
That was the third one, right?
I was
that was the last
confused.
One. That's why I don't remember it too, Scott. I was confused.
Like there was like Colonel Sanders. He was in there.
Colonel Sanders?
Yeah,
I know you.
In there.
I know you're talking about.
Sanders.
Yeah.
He was like,
okay.
He had like a bunch of like TV screens. Anyways, yeah.
Yeah. So the trailer dropped. It's called Matrix Resurrections, and this is the same director, and this is 18 years after the third movie. So how'd y'all feel about the trailer? Because we have Keanu Reeves looking like John Wick. So
I'll be honest. I know a lot of people are complaining about that, and I'll be honest. I was like, oh man, I'm one of those people too.
Yeah,
it's I don't know, like it. I'm not saying it's a bad choice. It's just the aesthetic. Like when you look at it, like Neo from all three movies. Even if you saw that third awful one, you could tell it looks like Neo. But when I saw the trailer, I can't unsee John Wick, because it's just the hair and the beard, like,
and the clothes too.
Yeah,
the clothes just like look like. I was like, is he wearing a suit?
That kind of threw me off. But the trailer did look pretty sweet, to be honest. But I just don't know how they're gonna. I don't want to say top the third one, but more like top the franchise. Like, what can you add to it?
Yeah,
that's just my concern. I mean, it looked cool. It looked like a sweet trailer. The visual effects, they look clean for a trailer. So I don't know. What else do you guys think about it?
Yo, Scott, how do you feel about
it?
Young Morpheus.
I don't. Like, I thought that actor who is young Morpheus, like, I thought he was the lead in the movie. Like,
oh, it's like a spinoff.
Yeah. Like,
okay.
I thought it was just gonna be like, oh, okay, we're not even gonna like even say like Neo, like say his name, like Neo. Right. Like it would be its own thing, but then like tie into like the overall universe of the Matrix, like similar to like Star Wars,
like a new cast, like pretty much.
Like knew everybody, but in the same universe. But I don't know, like I'm in the same boat. I'm like, Keanu Reeves, he's like, no, it's not. Like, we want some new faces and just new faces.
Is this like, do you feel like this is like the final one? Like, was this because the trailer really didn't show if this is like the final one. It like if this was the last Matrix movie, it kind of was just like you're back in the Matrix. And I'm just like, there's no, it doesn't feel like a finale. It feels more like, hey, you remember us?
Yeah,
we're back.
I feel like it will be a finale if it doesn't do well in the box office.
I mean,
I honestly, I feel like they just want to do it again just to do it. But I feel like, hey, if we do make money, let's just try to make another trilogy.
Yeah. I mean, there's 18-year-olds who do not know what the Matrix is. Like this movie is pretty much for the you know, for the people who were born like who were like who were like 10, 11, 12, like or you know, just in high school, and they were watching, you know, the Matrix in 1999 when the first movie dropped. And it just seems like there's going to be a bunch of people who are like Matrix Resurrections. It just feels like it feels like they're going to be lost. I mean, they can always go back and watch the movies, obviously, but it just feels like a continuation of the movies, which I don't know if that's the right way to go about it, because you know, you have a whole section of people who weren't even alive during this movie and the height of the popularity, because it was super popular. Like I remember watching Matrix Reloaded in high school. I think like in my photography class, we were just messing around, not doing anything, just doing homework, and he would just pop in like one of the pirated movies, and it happened to be Matrix Reloaded. And it's like, and it's like, okay, yeah. So I mean, that's how I spent high school. but yeah, like I don't know, the Keanu Reeves thing, that is a big thing, because you know, he can't go back to that hairstyle though. That whole long hair thing, that's like his brand now. Like that's part of him. That's part of his aesthetic. Like if I saw Keanu Reeves without the mustache or without like the hair, it'd just be weird, and I'd just be like, this is like old Keanu Reeves trying to be young Keanu Reeves, which you know, I don't know how it would look, but you know, CGI can probably make it happen. But I don't know. I'm interested to see it. There's a lot of action sequence look cool. Like I'm really curious to see what kind of action they can really come up, like action sequences they can come up with this technology that's out in you know, in 2020 2021. You know, we just saw a little bit of everything. But yeah, I'm hesitant, man. Like I might watch the movies again just before this. I'm just, my level's like at a meh. Like if I were to give it like a 1 out of 10, I'm like at a 6. Like it's not, you know.
Yeah, I'm the same way, dude. Like, visually it looks cool. It really does look cool, but just that interest, like, oh man, like, okay, you know, that's not to hate on like the franchise, just like, you know, what can they do next? So I mean, well, I'm like you, Steven. I feel the same way. It's like, okay, like, all right, hopefully it's good, but I'm not having high expectations.
Yeah, if it'll really be on what other people say, just see like if it's worth like checking out, because there's so much history with that franchise, you know.
Right.
So I mean, with the trailer, they did do a good job picking the music. I actually like the music in the trailer. That was actually pretty cool, even though it was kind of on the nose like a couple times. Right, I was like, man, did you really have to just show a bunny or like a rabbit when you said rabbit? I was like, all right, this is great. But yeah, any other thoughts before we move on to the next trailer? No, okay.
Move on.
Move on. All right.
On
so yeah,
another old man.
All right.
Another old
all right,
man.
so we're gonna talk Hawkeye. Before I get y'all's thoughts, RC did send me a Hawkeye review trailer text message, so I want to get this out of the way first, because maybe it'll go into some of the thoughts that we're going to be talking about pretty soon. So he said, Hawkeye review. It's Lethal Weapon, but with arrows. I'm glad Marvel is returning with the buddy cop formula, especially with Hawkeye. I'm not sure if Clint Barton could have carried a show alone. Kate Bishop and her attitude to crime fighting seems spot on. Heavily influenced by Matt Fraction, David Aja's storyline, especially with the first poster Marvel released. And just doing the if you guys haven't seen the posters, it's pretty much like Christmas, right? It's like Christmas and snow, and they were like kind of small in the background. Everything else was kind of enlarged. But so knowing all that, what do you guys think? Scott, how'd you feel about the Hawkeye trailer?
I feel like whoever pitched this show is like, okay, we're gonna do Bruce Willis's The Die Hard.
That's what I thought too.
But a Marvel show with Hawkeye, and it's like, boom, here's all the money. Okay, make it happen.
Yeah,
and I'm like, dude, this is Bruce Willis. Okay,
but all he needs is the air vent scene. All he needs is the air vent.
Jeremy Renner,
like
yippee ki yay!
It's just like it just has that vibe, and I'm like, I can see the idea. So we'll see. I'm.
Is the trailer better than Shang-Chi? I'm just kidding, Scott. I'm just kidding.
I don't know. We'll see. Like I'm like
just messing with you.
I do like this whole like this overarching thing with the like young Avengers, like how they're just
they're slowly building it
and a tie like everything to young Avengers.
That's like gonna be like a long con, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because like they didn't even like show if any of them have powers. They sprinkle them in, but I do like Haley Steinfeld. I'm a fan of her, and I think she's a good choice as Kate Bishop. I like how it's the whole protege type of thing, because at the end of the shot, you could tell, I don't know if they were training, but you could tell like she's struggling to do the classic Hawkeye shot from the first Avengers movie. And you see like Jeremy Renner trying to, or Clint Barton doing it. But I like the tone. That's exactly what I thought too, man. Die Hard
meets Marvel.
They got Lucky the Pizza Dog. Come on.
Oh yeah, I'm right.
So it's I like the tone. Like each of the shows have their own set of or their own tone to it, and I do like how they're making action, but there's gonna be sort of that witty humor too, where it's like, hey, we're just and just enjoy it. That's what I feel from the show, and it's kind of interesting to see how they're gonna tie in Florence Pugh, because even before Black Widow came out, before the end credits, she already filmed her scenes in Hawkeye. Oh, because the movie, since Black Widow was delayed so many times, so she already finished her stuff on Hawkeye. Like what RC said in his notes, it's like loosely based on Matt Fraction, so there's going to be a lot of influence of how the characters are going to be. I'm excited. It was a nice tease because it didn't show too much of the action or too much of the story. I don't want to get into too many spoilers because there's been rumors of certain villains that might pop up.
Yeah.
So I'll kind of save that in case no one wants to know, but I'll just say
Thanos?
No. I'll just say someone you saw in like the Defender shows may or not show up.
Yeah. Yeah. And
so
I mean it's if you love the trailer, go and read Matt Fraction, David Aja's Hawkeye. It's like it was one of the best comics coming out that year. It came out. And yeah, I mean, I definitely see a lot of the influence there, and I really just love how it's set in Christmas time. Like, Christmas is one of my favorite holidays. So once you hear the music, you're just like, and they just encapsulated what Christmas is like in New York City. And they use like the ice. They have a scene with the ice rink. I was like, all right, that's cool. And
it's like in 30 Rock.
Like,
jumping down. I like that. Like the funny thing you said about Christmas, Steven, at least it feels, because it's gonna release after Thanksgiving or right on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, pretty much.
Black Friday, when the Iron Man 3 came out like in July and they had a Christmas theme.
Oh yeah,
That was a little
Yeah.
weird. So
they're trying to do that Christmas in July type stuff, but
yeah.
it doesn't work. But
Nope.
yeah, but Hawkeye, it was fun. Really, I mean, I really love the song that they chose for it. Like the band, you could already feel the banter between Jeremy Renner and Haley Steinfeld. Like the chemistry was. We already saw that,
Mhm.
and I feel like it's gonna really shine in the show. What else? Like,
What's she doing with the Ronin suit? Like,
I know, right?
right?
I was that was the thing. I was like, whoa, that's you know, because didn't Clint see her in the news or something like that? So,
yeah.
yeah. But I just love, like, one of my favorite parts of the trailer was when she was so confident. She's like, I'm the world's greatest archer, and then hits the bell.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Mhm.
was that was perfect. Like, that's a perfect casting.
Yeah. I do like the line too, because
Mm-hmm.
like some call me the world's like greatest
Yeah.
archer. And
Mhm.
he's like, are you one of those people that say that?
Yeah.
So it's gonna be good. Yeah. Excited
I'm
for that.
excited. I'm
Mhm.
excited. How many do we know how many episodes it's gonna be? Or
I'm assuming it's gonna be the same formula, like they do 6 or 7 or whatever.
yeah. To be honest with you, I kind of was like
6 episodes.
I kind of wish there could have been a movie, because I feel like it has a movie feel
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah.
Like, I know a lot of the Disney Plus shows have movie feels, but this one just feels like 2 hours. I feel I can get but I know we're gonna get a lot more character development, and we still got Yelena Belova, which my prediction is she's gonna show up maybe towards the end of the show or something like that, or maybe in the middle. Maybe in the middle they might have an
Right.
episode dedicated to that.
Because I know the other villain, I don't know who's the actress, I forgot, but they have Echo going to be in there. I think
Okay.
she's a Daredevil villain. If I don't,
Yeah.
right.
She was like in Bendis's Daredevil.
Yeah.
So yeah. All right. So Hawkeye, I guess 2 thumbs up
Do
from
it.
all of us.
Oh, by the way, real quick, if any of you guys watched the Killmonger episode of What If, brutal.
Brutal. Oh,
I'll just say that,
gosh.
brutal.
Dang.
It's a good episode, and it's good to see Michael B. Jordan again. So I'll just leave it at that.
I watched a zombies episode like this week, and I was like, I wish there were more.
Yeah, I know. Hey, man, season 2, maybe.
I mean,
Yeah, we're coming to the end of What If, right?
Yeah.
Like, how many more episodes we got?
Like 3 more?
3.
I think
Yeah.
3 more.
Okay.
Yeah.
We should do, and maybe we'll dedicate a podcast to ranking the What If episodes. I think that'd be cool, pretty cool to do.
But yeah, check it out. The Killmonger episode. Like, wow.
Yeah, I
Is
need
it good?
to. I've been behind on it. I'm gonna check it out. So yeah. All right. So Hawkeye, really good. We're gonna go on to our next topic here. We're gonna talk a little bit about Why the Last Man, and that will segue us.
Why not
to,
the Last Man?
Ooh, sequel.
Oh shoot. Season 2.
Got him. Sorry.
But
Had to
we're
do
gonna
it.
talk a little bit about Why the Last Man. No spoilers, because it just came out maybe a couple days ago. But it'll also segue into our question that we're going to discuss. So I know, Neil, you haven't watched the show.
Yeah.
Have
I
you read
know-
Have you read the comic, or?
I want to say I read the first couple of issues. I just fell off of it because I just usually with indie books like that, I always trade weight.
Yeah.
But I know the concept, I know the premise. I just don't know how the characters are and even like the ending. So
yeah.
I'm as blind as a lot of new people who are watching the show.
Yeah.
Nice.
And so pretty much the first 3 episodes came out this week on Hulu or FX Hulu, and I'm on episode 2. And for people who've read the whole series, it, for me, in my opinion, it was kind of jarring in a way, just kind of see some of the characters and how they're portrayed. They have some qualities as the episodes goes on. You start to see that qualities come up, but in the first episode, I was kind of worried. But I'm past the second episode, and I'm back on board. I'm liking how it's going. There's still this is a 10 episode series, and we're still I just don't know how far they're really going to take this story over this season. And yeah, I mean, it has the vibe. It has the vibe of the story, but I don't know. I'm still like really on the fence. Scott, how'd you feel about watching the first couple episodes?
It's pretty good. I mean, like I read the whole series, like, because that's probably one of the few comics I've read from start to finish is Y the Last Man. Like, I was hooked. I was hooked on the story, and I was like, what the heck is happening? So I like caught all of it on my local library. Like, they had like all the trades there.
Yeah,
so
like
just like just
yeah, the
picking
series
all of
came
them
out
up.
a long time ago. So
But it's pretty good. I do get the vibes of like, oh, like this is the like how women are viewed now, like
yeah.
from when the books were written, and like the whole like uh climate around like women is here in the show. So it's pretty good. I mean, like, it's a modern take on Why the Last Man, but
Yeah.
Wasn't it like 60 issues or something like that?
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, it was 60 issues.
mhm.
Yeah, it was. I mean, when I read the comic, like, or I just finished it recently. I just finished reading it on Hoopla, and I was hooked by it. I mean, you kind of it's very it's a digestible book. Like, you can read it and not feel like you've when you read these long series and you're just like, it kind of goes along and you're just kind of not feeling the way you felt in the first couple issues. Like, this, reading the comic, it never was like that for me. Like, every issue, I really, even though it sometimes didn't get into the main story, it kind of took a side quest. It was actually still interesting and still part of the whole landscape of what Brian K. Vaughan was building with Why the Last Man. So I'm hoping in the show that they kind of keep that same spirit of the book, that like spirit of the comic in the show. I do have one little tiny thing where I'm very worried how the story's going to go. There is a lot of politics in here. You have Diane Lane playing, she's the president after the plague and stuff like that. So there is a lot of like Republican Democrat talk, and how things should go. And I hope over the next 7 episodes we get more of Yorick, Agent 355, Allison Mann, the kind of the core team of the story.
Yeah.
I know there's other characters as well, like I hope they'll get into like
sister.
Alter, the sister hero, Alter, the Israeli army, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
There's just different levels, and I hope it gets picked up for another season, because I feel like 10 episodes of doing, this is loosely based on the story, so they could cherry pick whatever they want from the story and make it their own.
What the episodes that you watched so far, Steven, how has the adaptation been? Has it been kind of close? Is it just kind of like pick here and there, or is it like actually like the comic?
It's definitely not a 101 representation of it. Like, it's definitely, I mean, I hate to say, it's like 50-50. Like, they take some parts of it, and then they keep true to some parts of it, and then they switch it up just a little bit, where you're like, whoa, this is not, and maybe go ahead, man.
Well, I was gonna ask, so in y'all's opinion, because you both read it and are fans of it, I'll bring up something I like too that I actually read. I did read The Umbrella Academy, and I was surprised at how different it was, but I actually enjoyed it. It was different. Now for Why the Last Man, how do you guys feel about it? It's kind of being a little bit different. Like, does it make you go, oh man, like I'm not really feeling it, or I'm okay with it being different because it's kind of keeping me on my toes and to be expecting the unexpected, you know?
Um, I think I I think reading the book, you really just have to take yourself out of that. Like,
Mm-hmm.
um, I don't want like a true representation of
Mm-hmm.
it. I
Mhm.
want them to kind of explore some of the stuff since this comic did come out a long time ago,
Right.
and
Yeah.
a lot of things have changed in our society. Um, so I mean, I really have to. It really is going to be at the end of, like, I really can't pinpoint like where I'm at right now until like the end of the series, because
Yeah.
Mhm.
they've scratched the surface with the story. They're kind of just getting to the point where shit starts to hit the fan. So
Oh,
once the shit starts to hit the fan, then
okay.
Mhm.
like then we'll
So,
start knowing.
so is it ex- from the amount of episodes already confirmed, do you think, oh, there's got to be a season 2 or multiple seasons just based on how the story's going? Or do you really
I
think they might tell the whole story in that one season, be a miniseries?
I hope they kind of let get a second season.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I heard there was a lot of turmoil with this series even before when it got
Mhm.
when the episodes released. Like, they had a new showrunner that came in.
Mm-hmm.
The lead that's in the show now wasn't the original lead before they switched leads. Um, so we'll see. I mean, it really just depends on the reaction of,
Yeah.
after all 10 episodes. I feel like there should be a second season, just because there's a lot of meat and bones to the story
Mm-hmm.
that I
Yeah.
feel like they should just, if they're gonna do a true representation of the story or their own representation and keep the spirit of the comic, it has to be a multiple season series,
Right.
Mhm.
in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Because the only thing I read up on it so far is that it's been in production for like years.
years,
They've been
Mhm.
trying
yes,
to get it going. Then when they actually started production, COVID happened. So I don't know if that actually would make a difference in the quality of the show. I know there's been some shows and movies that have come out this year that were filmed during COVID, that actually came out. Some were really good, some were awful, but people aren't
Mhm.
giving them too much slack just because of how the pandemic was.
Right.
So
yeah.
for like when we come back to it, when and I'll eventually watch it too from a perspective of not reading the comics.
Yeah,
um it'll be interesting to see how the show holds up overall,
exactly.
whether or not it's a good or great adaptation. I want to see how this show ends and see how it holds up to you guys, like, oh man, like it was all over the place, or I
Mhm.
kind of could let some things slack because of, I heard about some production errors,
Yeah,
so
it's one of those comics that you're like, this one, it's like one of your favorite comics, and you always want, you know uh you always want that comic represented in the best ways in other mediums.
mm,
Mhm.
So hopefully by the end of episode 10, I feel a lot better, and I'm just like, banging the table for it, like, y'all need to watch this right
yeah.
now. But
Mhm. Mhm.
it's a wait and see.
Yeah. So how's the main actor, the last man, York? I don't know the guy's name, but how's he doing so far?
I think he's doing okay.
Yeah, go ahead,
I
Tom.
Okay.
think he's doing good. I mean, like Yorick is he looks different like in the comic books and then in the live action. Um but it's a pretty one for one like Shaw, like he's in to magic and what was the book, the books York's in to magic too,
Mhm.
so it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
um
And his monkey's also the last like male, whatever, what animal or mammal, whatever it's
mhm,
called.
Yeah.
yeah.
Ampersand,
Yeah.
ampersand,
So like I would
Ampersand, that's
say
right.
I
ampersand.
would
That's a great
say
name.
Yeah.
if you really want to like know more, I'd say just read the book.
Hmm.
Like read the books, like because it's the same thing with like anime, like watch the anime read the manga.
Mhm.
Like the like the anime will like remove off some like filler things and some like character element to move the story forward.
Mhm.
So I feel like there will be some like corner cutting with the story or with the show, but I think overall it should be good. Like
Yeah.
yeah.
So before we put a bow on this topic here, RC also had some thoughts. We were doing a little texting.
He has so
you
many
know,
thoughts.
I know he has a lot of thoughts, man.
There's a lot of
You
thoughts.
gotta get him in the conversation.
Thoughtful person.
Thoughtful
Yeah.
man.
All right. So
Share his thoughts.
so during our little text exchange that we had last night, I mean, you guys were part of it too. I'll just kind of read what he said. He said, I think right off the bat, they've diverged from the comic, but that's okay since comics and TV are different mediums, and the comic was written nearly 20 years ago, so times change. So what might not have been possible in the comic may be enhanced through episodic viewing. I'm not looking for a one-to-one translation of the comic, just that they say true to the spirit of it. And then I was kind of talking to him about the politics and how it's very it's there, it's a theme already within the first two episodes. And he mentioned to me, like, I agree, there's still a lot of world building happening. I think once they get the trio of Yorick, 355 and Dr. Man together, they will start their road trip, then the pace will pick up. Yeah, and they just got to Washington. So Washington is where it let off in episode 2. So I still need to watch the third episode. So
No spoilers.
Hey, spoilers.
Yeah, I mean, they got to Washington.
They go to Orlando, Florida. I'm just
Whoa,
kidding.
Jacksonville.
Whoa.
The Jacksonville.
It's like all dudes there, but they don't care.
Like, how did you survive?
Plague? We've already had the plague. I'm like, what?
Oh, they don't count. That's cool.
It was kind of eerie to kind of see like the plague happen, and we just had this pandemic and stuff. It was just kind of like it didn't turn me off. I was just kind of like,
right, yeah.
I was like,
eerie.
oh
Yeah,
it is kind of like when the
coincidence
they show the dude's dying, and it's pretty gruesome. Like I was like, oh. So I mean,
cool.
These aren't the same. Like these are two different plagues, but it's a plague.
It's funny you brought that up, Steven, because I know there's a big plot point in Falcon and the Winter Soldier that they took out of. That's why some people thought of some of the plot points with the Flag Smashers was off towards the end. They actually were going to. There was actually an ongoing story with the Flag Smashers that they're trying to use this super soldier serum to cure a pandemic. But it was pre-COVID. Man, it just was a coincidence. Awesome. And then they kind of, it was hard to kind of make, to justify how to make it work without it being a pandemic. And it was just the circumstances. So they just like wrote it out of the show. So they played it safe just because they didn't want to trigger people. And I understand. But it's one of those where it's a could have been. Yeah.
That would have been awesome. I like the idea of the Flag Smashers, and I was like, okay, where are we going with this? Oh, okay, not that far.
Yeah, because I think I think what people were uncovering is that it's not necessarily that it happened to be also a pandemic. I think whatever disease, like fictional disease, was in the show, it happened to be a little bit closely to how COVID is affecting people. So they're like, okay, like
write that off.
Yeah. So
I think it come out. It came out last year, right?
Yeah.
So pretty much we were still at the height of the pandemic.
Yeah,
like we didn't even get like the vaccine yet.
I want to say they finished filming. They were like in the meat of it, right when the lockdowns were happening, right when it got to the States. So yeah, it was crazy how they halted, like everything halted production, obviously, but they're like, all right, how do we just make sense of this? Well, we'll just write it out. So
Yeah. I mean, it didn't take away from the show. It still
right,
was.
yeah.
Yeah, it still was pretty good. Like, I feel like it was just kind of like a small. I mean, they could have made it a big deal, but they also could have just,
right, yeah.
you know, they had the option to write it out and become or make it like a small like idea that didn't happen. You know.
Yeah. So like with Why the Last Man, it's kind of interesting how, because I already knew what happens in the comics, but it's kind of interesting to see it physically happen in an adaptation, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I was just like, whoa, you actually see what's going on, like how this is all unfolding. Like, damn.
Yeah,
cool.
and they pull no punches with it. Like, I was like there was just dudes just falling, bro. I was like, oh, okay. But yeah, all right. So so that kind of segue us into the question that we kind of were want to talk about here. So we have pretty much the question would be, what comic, story arc, even anime, what give me one that you would like to go live action, love to be adapted into a series. So we'll start off with that, and then we'll do the opposite of that after we give our picks. So anybody want to go first?
I got like a lot, Steven, but I'll keep it bare minimum.
Give me like 3.
Okay, I'll give you 3. I want to see, and I know that's been talks, it's going to be maybe an HBO Max series. Now we're getting Guy Gardner. I want to see a real deal, legit adaptation of Green Lanterns. And I don't want it like, who cares of how this, like the what do you call it, the science and the physics of how the suits look. Just like, it just looks like clothes now. Okay, just put it at that and just let them have their powers with the rings. I legit want to see it done well. And people are like, oh, I want it to be like Hal Jordan, Jon Stewart, or Kyle Rayner. I want to see all the Human Lanterns and have it like Hal Jordan to be well established. Like him and Jon Stewart are like the go-to guys, and then you have other dudes that are like other human Green Lanterns that are already there, that are just kind of just having to make it work. Have Kyle Rayner be well established. Guy Gardner, I honestly don't care about his character.
Yeah, dude, I would
Simon Baz, Jessica.
Simon
Cruz.
Baz, Jessica Cruz. Yeah, those were the 2 I was kind of like, they could do a show with that.
So I'll start out with legit Green Lantern adaptation. HBO Max series, movie, I don't care, just do something.
Redemption.
Do something.
Yeah. In 2. So I was a fan of Guardians of the Galaxy long before the idea of adapting into a movie was there. Another team I want to see, and there's 2 versions of them, and I would love to see both versions, but I'm gonna go with Agents of Atlas, the old school team and the new school team with all the Asian heroes. Like you got Gorilla Man, or I forgot how to say his name, 3D Man or Robot Man. I'm like forgetting names because it's been so long since I read Jimmy Woo's series, but so I'm looking like a fake fan now.
No, man, we got you.
He's a real fan.
You're a real fan.
Yeah, but
you're a realist.
It's like one of those weird series that I just found through Marvel, just like picking something up and like I'm just gravitated towards how this is. And a third one, I want to see the Squadron Supreme somehow. I always like the idea of when DC and Marvel like make characters of each other's properties, of characters from the opposite property, like Spider-Man, you got Black Spider, and DC, even though he's kind of more like Agent Flash Thompson. And then with Marvel, you got like Hyperion, which I like his character. They got pretty much a whole Justice League team there too. And I like when DC does that too, when they like start making characters that are like Marvel characters. I want to see something like that happen where, oh, this reminds me of like Superman, or this reminds me of like Batman, but this is on Marvel, or this is DC. I want something like that. I want that type of obscure. You know,
I mean, to be honest with you, Kevin Feige would do it just to put a middle finger to DC. Is like, hey, I'm gonna take the heroes that are your Justice League. I'm gonna make them. I have the characters that could play them and do it better.
Oh no, dude! I mean, I would love to see that, but you know, I want to see some. I mean, I just want Warner Brothers. They're on the right track, I think. After
I hope so, man.
Yeah, I think they were too focused. The too focused on trying to do this huge universe like trying to play catch up with Marvel. Just like make some good adaptations first, and then like
Mhm.
go from there.
Yeah,
There's some
the
good
corporate
movies.
hands, the corporate hands got in the cookie jar
Yeah,
when it came to, I mean, why? I just never understood why they just don't take the same formula as Marvel. It's not a plan, like it's just a basic plan. Just build it through through the origin characters, like the
right.
main, just do origin movies on all the characters and do it. It's not rocket science, like,
Yeah.
so, but
So
hindsight's
that's
2020.
my pick. So Green Lanterns, we got what did I say? Ages of Atlas, both versions, and I want to see a swap heroes from Marvel DC adapted. I want to see
Okay.
I want to see DC do like their Captain America. I want to see Marvel do Hyperion, which is Superman. I want to see that.
Okay.
Whoa.
All right, Sky. What do you got? Which one?
Anime.
All right. What do you got?
I want to have another shot at Dragon Ball Z live action. Give it a try, Dragon Ball Z live action. Okay.
With CGI at its
like with the fight scenes of now, none of that.
Who plays Goku? Tell me who plays Goku.
I don't
Henry
know.
Cavill.
I don't know. Someone from Shang-Chi. I don't know.
Oh my
Tony Luong?
Dude,
please.
Tony Luong's like Master Roshi, man.
Like
Yeah, I know,
let's give DBZ another shot.
If you put Donnie Yen in DBZ, I'll watch it.
And then
that's Frieza.
Yeah.
That's Frieza.
Oh my god.
No, that's Raditz.
Oh,
do like
no.
Rat, like do like the OG. Like
do like
Piccolo.
Like do that whole like series from like Raditz to
Frieza.
No. Like Frieza will be the like second movie. You can just do from like now to like, or from Raditz to like
Vegeta,
Cheetah and Nappa. Yeah. Like that's it. That's good enough. I mean,
if they ever do an adaptation of Vegeta, like that actor needs to. He's got some like Oscar award winning speeches and monologues, man.
I mean, he's got already iconic
pride.
lines. Yeah, he needs to say. He needs to say over 9,000. Like that has to be.
Yeah. What 9,000?
If you want to like watch one of the greatest like anime lines ever, watch Vegeta's first transformation into a Super Saiyan. Like, that's some like that's really dope. Heavy stuff, and it's like, damn, who wrote this?
I know, right?
Heavy stuff. Yeah. So DBZ is one. Maybe like, well, this is maybe like
it's another anime.
Like mech anime, like you're like
Pacific Rim?
That one, or like there's this anime called like Big O.
Big
O. That's from Toonami.
Like yeah. That's like a while back.
Yeah. That's way back.
It's basically like Batman, but like
with a mech.
Yeah, with a mech, which is pretty good. And then give me another Ghost in the Shell.
I was about to say.
Yeah. Redemption on Ghost in the Shell.
I don't want.
Oh man.
I don't want
Scarlet Joe. Yeah.
I feel so bad because visually that movie looked good. It's just overall the story is like
no.
Yeah. Terrible.
All right, what you got, Steven?
All right, so I have any Brubaker Phillips comic.
Okay.
Whether it be like Criminal, Fatale, The Fade Out, like they're just masters at this type of genre, and I'm just like, I need to see one of these movies either in a show. I feel like it'd be good on a TV show. Just they can do the slow. Yeah. I just feel like stories like Criminal and Fatale and Fade Out, like I think they're good TV shows. Like I could definitely see one of them being adapted into like to a series. Next one would be it'd be Shang-Chi, but I want them to
We
incorporate.
already did it already.
I know. But
Wish granted.
Let me
Alright,
go
alright,
further with
alright,
this. I want them to do the 5-Weapon Society. Like that
Oh,
has
yep,
to,
yep.
like that is such a great idea for the character. Like it's a no-brainer. Like that's set up for like just a nice trilogy that they could have, going in with the family as well. And just like create a team. Like, we have the agents. We're gonna have the Agents of Atlas hopefully soon, maybe. So that could also be another pivot. But also, if they don't decide to do that, they have the 5-Weapon Society. I feel like Shang-Chi needs more like supporting characters or just characters he can kind of go back and forth with. That's why Katie was so cool in the movie, because she could verbally spar with Shang-Chi at any moment. So I feel like having the 5-Weapon Society in that universe would be, especially with Shang-Chi, awesome. So and finally, American Vampire by Scott Snyder.
Ooh, another good
that's
one.
a good one.
Yeah. I feel like, this could be like an HBO Max or or an AMC show. Like I feel like I've read this. It was a long time ago. I read the story when it first came out, and I remember just being hooked on it. They have some really good characters. And yeah, I'm surprised it hasn't been adapted. It's a really cool premise, and it goes through different timelines. So it's not
what's the premise again?
So man, you're putting me on the spot, but
oops, sorry.
Google it. But
Google it.
It's okay, Steve. I forgot the members of Agents of Atlas on the spot.
No, you're right. But I think it's revolving this specific vampire that's been living in America, and he's immortal, and he kind of just he kind of lives through the years. Like he's
American history.
Yeah. It's almost like a history lesson, but with vampires, and you kind of see how vampires kind of shape American history. There's players behind some of the biggest moments in American history. So yeah, it's kind of loosely, that's a loosely thing, but go check it out. Read it in your libraries.
Yeah.
It's a good story. So yeah, those are my three. So moving on from that, let's go the opposite route, and let's do 1 to 2. If you have a third one, it's fine. What you don't want adapted. Like I'm never like, if I see this, I'm like, nah, man.
Okay.
It's a wrap. Scott, why don't you give us a couple or one or whatever.
Okay. One that I don't want to be adapted, Food Wars. I don't want that Food Wars anime adapted to live action. It'll be
picked up by Food Network.
It'll be like too raunchy. I mean, like you'll have people eating food, and like pants and shirts will just explode off. Be like, ooh, like I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that live action. That's weird. Let's do. So in comics, I don't want to see Miles Morales live action.
What?
I want to see, like,
might.
I think the whole like Spider-Verse thing is just like too, like, it's too nice. Like it's what keeps them like separate from all the like Marvel MCU movies. I'd rather see him just animated, which is cool. I mean, I
got you on that, because okay, looking at it, so Miles Morales is in the universe, right? So he's in the MCU. I mean, he's such a good character within where the Marvel universe is right now. Do you think he'll even get the shine that he actually deserves? Maybe,
I say maybe.
Yeah, but the thing is,
Spider-Man
like,
dies. If he dies and then Miles is back, then I'd be like, okay, cool. But we can't have them two.
Well, Tom
like,
Holland is too young, like
side by side.
I feel like when this whole Young Avengers thing, like the plants are finally seeded, I think that's when we'll see Miles Morales.
Yeah.
And to bring it outside of the movies into like the real world, I feel like at that point Tom Holland's contract will have expired, and they're just going to show Miles Morales now.
Yeah. They have that trump card. They have Miles Morales in their back pocket. Like, they don't have to bring it. They can tease it. Like, I wouldn't mind them teasing, like, just, you know, something, but not like introducing, you know, how Spider-Man introduced in Civil War. Like, I don't want him part of what's going on here. Maybe, like, I don't know. I'm interested to see how they're gonna bring him to the fold, or if they ever bring him into the fold. Like, so yeah. I mean, that's. I mean, I understand where you're coming from, because
make more Spider-Verse movies. It'll be good. That's fine.
And ask Andrew Garfield. He knows.
Yeah,
exactly. And then my last thing is video games. I don't want to see another Super Mario Brothers movie.
Dude, I love that movie, man.
That movie's too good.
It's a cult classic, man.
It's
perfect.
It's like, you know how you can watch bad movies, but I feel like
it's the perfect bad movie.
I feel like I watch it because I actually like it. I know it's not good, but I think it's just
it's good. It's good. It's like, don't make another one. Don't even reboot it. Don't even think about it.
That never.
Leave
I
it
don't
alone.
think that'll ever work. Like,
trust the fungus. That's what Mario said.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Who was in there? Like
Bob Hoskins was Mario. John Leguizamo.
Yeah. There was like Bowser with like small head or something.
Yeah.
Oh, it was the Goombas. That was Toad.
Yeah.
Yoshi was there for like.
Yoshi was in there
3 minutes
as a raptor. I think.
I'm amazed they actually greenlit something like that. That just seems like
Dennis Hopper was Bowser.
Unbelievable.
Nice. I'm tired. Yeah.
Dang. Was he a better villain in Mario Brothers or Speed? I don't know.
That's a close one.
Which one has a smaller head?
Oh no.
Smaller head.
Oh man.
But yeah.
All right.
Leave that alone. Leave Super Mario Bros.
All right, Neil. What are some of your picks?
Okay. Off the top of my head, when we were talking about it, I'm gonna go with, and I love Brian Michael Bendis. I love all his works, but there's some where it's a complete miss. And when he did All New X-Men and Guardians of the Galaxy, it started okay because they were kind of self-contained. I was like, okay, it's fine. But then it got so confusing because All New X-Men, they're the first class X-Men plucked from the past to the present, mingling with all the other X-Men. So it's so confusing. But when it was self-contained, it was okay because there were great character moments. But then it just was too much. They overstayed their welcome. He did a crossover because he was also writing Guardians of the Galaxy called Black Vortex, and that was awful. I'm sorry.
Awful.
It was awful.
We don't want to see that.
It was like, I feel bad because like there's some pretty good artwork, some good concepts, but it's just the execution. It's just like I don't know.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
That was didn't he bring back he brought Angela to the Gardens, right? Was that him?
So what was implied is that, which was cool and why I was excited, is that the way all the article news about losing the rights from who had the rights?
Neil, wait, Spawn. She was in Spawn, right?
What was I'm blanking on the guy's name. Todd McFarlane. Yeah. So like the rights expired, and what everyone made it seem like is she's plucked from that universe to the Marvel 616. But now they made it seem like she's always been Asgardian or whatever. Like they kind of it kind of made me go, oh, I thought she was a special unique character from another comic book property brought somehow here, but now it's anyways. But that's not a good story. I'm sorry, Brian Bendis. Another one, Civil War 2, Yeah, there was a second Civil
yeah.
War
Oh
Marvel comic.
no!
Yikes.
I remember y'all reading that.
Sorry, Brian Bendis again. I love his work.
Is this a all
Let's go
Bendis
again.
thing?
Dude, this is crazy because he's one of my top 3 writers. It's just these two stand out as far as like,
Don't make these to
Yeah.
live action. Don't even use them.
yeah, it was bad. Like it was so weird how to describe the premise. Like Captain Marvel and Iron Man were going against each other.
Yes.
Somehow
Yes.
some random Inhuman was involved because this Inhuman, his powers, he could see the future. Like, we're gonna use him to prevent future events. And it just didn't make sense. Somehow Hawkeye assassinated Bruce Banner, but he didn't. Like,
Yes.
what?
Yes, there was
going on?
so much going on in that series. I was like,
Don't use it.
it had great art, but
Yeah, it had good art, honestly. Good covers. It just was.
yeah.
So that's my 2. If I have one more, I would say, I'll be honest, the writing wasn't bad. It's just the premise, and knowing like the aftermath. It's not going to be like, if there's not going to be repercussions, like Secret Empire, where Cap was Hydra agent all along.
Yeah.
Oh.
No.
And then they kind of turn around like, oh no, like his
Use that
spirit
in
is
live
his
action.
spirit is still alive. It's just that he was like, I don't know what dumb excuse they did. Like, they made it seem like he's always been Hydra, but he really wasn't. So
that was a huge controversy. Like,
yeah, it's
that
just,
was probably as big as I've seen it when I was like when we were collecting
Yeah.
comics, like like we're heavy
it's
into
just
it.
the way they made it. They executed it. It's just okay. We know he's not really Hydra, so how are they gonna explain it? And they gave this dumb reason. Like, I would have taken he was a Skrull. Like, I would have taken that and be okay with.
Yeah.
But it was bad. It kind of, and I feel bad because it took spotlight away from Sam Wilson becoming Captain America. He became Captain America
in the books.
Like, yeah.
And
then like 3 months later, they did Secret Empire, and I understand they're trying to make this whole arc where Sam's trying to figure this out to ask Captain America like how to figure out Hydra being infiltrated this whole time. So that one was pretty bad.
Yeah, I mean, I remember Secret Empire. That was yikes.
Well, I would say premise was bad. The way it was written wasn't bad. It's just like, it was just this weird thing where it's like, I don't like it, but it's not awfully written. Like, I could see the arcs. It's whatever.
Just, I mean, like the story wise, like, it was hit or miss, but like the online backlash was insane. Like, Twitter had a field day. Like, the thing is though, it went national media.
Oh yeah.
Like this was huge.
Hydra agent.
I think they talked about it on ESPN.
It was on like CNN. It was like, I remember it being everywhere, and I was just like, y'all haven't read this whole story yet.
Would y'all want to see a what's like superior Spider-Man live action where like
no,
they switch bodies? No, okay.
No. I don't know if it would work with Doc Ock live action. It might work with somebody else, but
Alfred Molina.
Switching bodies. It's got to make sense, man. It's got to make sense.
Yeah, he is back, but I feel like you would have to do a different character.
Yeah,
that was a big thing.
Yeah,
that was a big like controversy of like, what? Not my Spider-Man. Blah blah blah.
Yeah, because they did an Amazing Spider-Man 700. Like they did the whole thing over there, and they were hyping up that issue. Like, I remember, like, there was like 15, 16 covers to that, and then everyone was kind of up in arms when that happened. But
oops.
So all right, so I guess my 3. So All-Star Superman. I don't want that. I know it's animated, but I'm talking live action. I don't want live action because it just be no. I'm good.
Damn.
Saga.
Wait, did you ever see the movie, Steven? All-Star?
I did. I did. Movie? Yeah, I did see the anime movie. It was good.
Okay.
I was just
like the book.
Yeah, I remember Steven loved the book. Yeah.
Okay.
It's pretty good. I read it.
It's pretty much my favorite Superman story of all time, and live action. I just feel like the screenwriters, because with animated movies you can kind of just do it a one-for-one representation.
Yes.
In your live action, there's a lot of there's a lot of hands in the cookie jar,
It's true,
and then
yeah.
they'll
Give me.
play with it, and I'm just like, that's the spirit of the comic would be broken if it came if it
Damn.
if it became a live action. I just hate the casting. I'm like, why are we doing this? Why don't we do why don't we do an actual like Superman story with Metropolis? Not like, the scope of All-Star Superman was made for comic books. Like, so there's that one. Obviously Saga. I don't want Saga. It's too, again, it's epic. It's an epic story. And there's just gonna be a lot of CGI, like, and it's just like, it's just not gonna look good. Again, that story is for comics. And the last one, this is kind of piggybacking off your Green Lanterns. I don't know, but Blackest Night, I don't know if they should do Blackest Night. just cause it won't do the comic justice. It's one of the best DC event books of all time, in my opinion.
Oh yeah.
Woo.
Way I just don't trust Warner Brothers to do it justice, because it is basically, it's almost like an end game type storyline.
Yeah,
dude, I should have thought of that. I didn't really think about it.
Yeah,
but it's Blackest Night is my favorite ever comic book storyline. I didn't think about that. I was like, I'm not gonna touch my top favorites, but now that you got the wheels turning in my head, I'm like,
see that.
I don't want to see it. Like, oh man,
it's too good, and I just feel like Warner Brothers is not gonna do it justice,
right?
And it involves everybody. Like, it involves almost every hero, and then some, and then you have the other spectrums which deserve their own time. It just that's, if they were going to do that is like, maybe a 3 to 4 year building process to that thing, because just true. how much stakes there were in that comic. So those are my three, because they're some of my favorite comics. I feel like some of our favorite comics of all time, as much as you want to see it live action, you just want the right people on it. Like, if it was Marvel, like, I would feel like fine. Like, I'm just like, that's why I really didn't put any Marvel, just because I was like, if anything, like, they would know how to figure it out. But
not Venom.
Man, Venom, maybe. Like, when I was thinking about, with the question, the first thing I came out, and I've never read the book, so I'm not even gonna, I just want to put the idea out there. But the King of Black stuff that I've been hearing, like how good Donny Cates Venom is.
Oh,
he's a good writer, Donny Cates.
Yeah. Like, the way he changed Venom as like a symbiote. I think, let me preface say I've never read the book, but I'm just hearing. It's pretty much like Venom is like a symbiote of space, right? So there's like there's other symbiotes in space. So he's kind of like, it's kind of like a fight for who's going to be
the best symbiote.
Yeah, who's going to be the king of the symbiotes.
Oh, cool.
And that's where like cool. Carnage and all these other symbiotes are coming from. So from what I'm hearing, it's one of the best like Marvel books, and it just the premise alone just sounds cool. Venom going into space and finding other symbiotes and just trying to, like, it's almost like a Game of Thrones but with symbiotes, which maybe I don't know, but that was another one.
Man, you picked good ones though, Steven, because I was just thinking of like comic books, like storylines that I didn't like. That's why I don't want to see adapted. But you picked ones that are like highly critically acclaimed, great ones. But you're like, no, don't adapt it.
don't adapt it.
Yeah. Don't do it.
There's comics that you just want to remember as comics.
Yeah.
And you want to, I think in our minds, like, how we want it to play out will probably never happen. So that's why I'm like, that's why I went in that kind of direction. But we'll definitely bring this question back up because there's so many adaptations coming out. I mean, so this is definitely a question we're going to revisit again and again and again, and there'll be different answers every time because there's so much content out there. So
let me ask this: what is for Neil will be Green Lantern, and for Steven be Superman? What story arc of your favorite superheroes would you want to see live action?
I mean, for me, like with Superman, I just take it to the basics. Like I would like to see, and I think they could do it. I think they could do Superman Secret Origins, the Jeff Johns book, Gary Frank. I mean, that's all I want is a true version of Superman's upbringing and the whole metropolis, like Clark Kent. I mean, we got bits and pieces with that. I don't know. I just feel like maybe the movies that came out haven't really been to my liking. And I know there's different spins of it, but I feel like, there's Superman's Secret Identity. There's so many Superman origin story comics that I would like adapted. So I would just probably stick to where like Superman, first when Superman actually was created and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So,
what about you, Neil?
Thinking, man, that I really, really want to get adapted.
Yeah.
Oh man,
how do you feel about doing like Simon Baz or Jessica Cruz? Like, any of that stuff. Like,
if they were to do that, I would hope, because that has as I said earlier in the podcast, it would be great to see all the Green Lanterns established, or the human Green Lanterns established.
Mm-hmm.
And you kind of have Simon Baz and Jessica Cruz kind of be like the new recruits.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have a little bit of like Hal Jordan and John Stewart. They're the vets. Like they're the guys that like get it done around the universe that they're guarding. And then you got guys like Guy Gardner and Kyle Rayner. They may kind of stick a little bit more to Earth, or maybe just in that galaxy. Mm-hmm. And then they're going to have Jessica Cruz and Simon Baz just be on Earth just to like get a feel for it. So they're going to be exploring the idea of the introduction to like space threats. So it'll be like a nice entry level instead of having this like grand, huge cosmic entity that they're trying to establish. Like it's kind of hard to do that. I mean, Marvel now, or the MCU now, because they've explored space slowly with the Guardians and Thanos and all that. It'll be nice to kind of see it slowly build up from that little core, then expand. So
I mean, they have a really good, I mean, they could do the Green Lantern show. Like you just have to do Green Lanterns on Earth, and then at the end of the season tease like somebody coming to them. Like it's there. It's just, I don't know. I want them to do a movie because Green Lanterns deserves a movie. Like it deserves like a big budget.
Right, yeah.
Like if they were gonna do Green Lanterns, they have to do it like all the way. Like as much grounded as you can get within within Earth and stuff like that. It's space. Like you have to have like the big stuff, like the Guardians of the Universe, all that stuff. Like that's have to be in there. And maybe down the road, I'm gonna put this out there. 5 years. Give us 5 years. We're getting something Green Lantern related.
5 years.
Like
I
that's.
I got a feeling that's about a good estimate. About 5 years until they're gonna start doing something, whether it's like announcement or a date's been finalized in their casting.
Yeah, I think that's good. Yeah, that's a good benchmark there. So.
As far as I got one more though.
Yeah.
As far as not wanting to adapt, I'll go video games. They already did it with
Sonic.
They're already making a second one with Idris Elba.
True.
Yeah, but I would say don't make another Pokemon movie because it reached the pinnacle with Detective Pikachu.
Yes, facts.
Oh, yeah,
facts,
yeah.
yes.
It's like that's done.
Good.
Like
that was good.
And I think they were trying to make a sequel, but now it fell down. And I think there's some sort of live action on Netflix that they're trying to do.
Yeah,
and I'm just like,
what the heck?
I'm just like, no, like it reached the pinnacle. It was perfect. We don't need to see this again. Like as much as it would be cool to see like a sequel to that world, I think it was just done enough where it's like, okay, I had my plate. I'm full. I don't need to eat anymore.
No more.
Yeah.
So that's I mean, that's a good
true.
choice too. Pokemon, you know, again,
we'll make
it's
that
just,
live action.
We have so much content of Pokemon in the animated space. Anything live action would just be like
also in the video games.
There's Pokemon everywhere. I got a Pokemon hat.
I know.
Yeah, see, like look, 25th anniversary coming out.
I got a Geodude on my desk.
Oh my gosh.
Random
live action Geodude, you know?
So
oh my gosh.
Like real quick, I was surprised at how good that movie was.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Very accurate. Very good.
Very like it's
I was surprised. I loved Ryan Reynolds as Detective Pikachu. I was like, okay, Deadpool, whatever. Let's see how this goes. I'm like, this is really funny.
Yeah, like you could totally see that hat. Like, as the movie's going on, I was like, man, you could totally see this as like an alternate reality, like of Pokemon. Just him being voiced by that, and it was really cool how they still kept the Pika stuff,
right?
But it was just
the twists at the end.
We'll
just leave it at that.
Yeah.
Watch the movie. Watch Detective Pikachu.
After watching Green Knight.
After watching the Green Knight.
I want to see the Spider-Verse live action.
Okay, you're asking too much.
But with
Andrew Garfield,
with like Ben Reilly and like Madam Spider.
All
like.
So you're talking about like Spider-Man animated series?
Yeah,
like $20.99,
all that weirdness of like. I just want to see a Madam Spider live action. That's all.
We'll see.
Played by Marissa Tomei
or Betty White.
Betty White is Madam Spider.
Betty White. Madam Spider. Marvel, make it happen. Hit me up.
Shoot. All right, so that kind of puts we'll leave it at that. All right, so our final topic we're going to talk today, just briefly, this is Stuck in the Phantom Zone. That means you are fans.
No.
So that not just movies, TV, and more. And that more is sports. And this week started the NFL season, and our hometown Jacksonville Jaguars started their game against Texans, and they got destroyed. So we want to have this platform is for us to say our piece. We're not going to do this every week. I would like to do this maybe every quarterly, like just because there'd be too much ranting, and this would be like a 5-hour podcast. We should take our thoughts to Twitter or social media, but I just want to give us a platform to talk about Sunday. So Neil, let me start with you, man.
Yes,
You're as big a Jaguar fan as I know.
I'm not crying.
All right, so
his hand is on his face if you can't see it.
How did you feel at the end of the game?
Oh.
And give us that process going into today.
Denial.
Right now.
So when the second quarter ended, that's when I was like, it's over. It's not. It's halfway done. It's over. Well, I
we just started
season, but because not to like bag on the Texans, they're not supposed to be a great team this year. But the way the Jags played in all phases, they made Tyrod Taylor look like Tom Brady. They didn't have anything together, like lining up like the fundamentals. You would think like, okay, this shouldn't be a penalty. Oh, it is. And there's so many things I could talk about. I'll talk about two things briefly, not even like a minute long.
Yeah.
Andrew Wingard, no disrespect, but he doesn't deserve a start, and I believe everyone with half a brain knows that.
Yeah, start Cisco. Start Cisco at this point, man.
Like we seen it last year when he got his chance to start. like, sorry, dude. Like, you're a glorified special teamer. That's great. If you can make it in this league as a special teamer, that's great. Don't start on defense. That's great as well.
God, bodied him.
And then 2, why in the hell is James Robinson only getting 5 carries the whole game?
Yeah.
And they made T Law throw the entire time because they're trying to play catch up, but you got to establish a run to make the pass work.
And they were doing good too. They were getting 5 yards to carry.
And then all right, great. There you go, James Robinson. You're healthy as a clam, but we're going to go ahead and give Carlos Hyde all the carries.
I know, right? Let's give Carlos
I'm
Hyde
part of this
5
conspiracy
carries.
theory too, that the coaches said, Trevor Lawrence, don't scramble. When you get to the line of scrimmage, just question everything and then just throw the ball for a pick.
Yeah.
What? Yeah, that's true.
So,
they just need to tight up fundamentals. That's all I'll say. Don't start Andrew Wingard.
Yeah, don't start Andrew Wingard.
Don't start him at all.
All right.
All right, Scott. Madden, I cut him. If this is Madden, I cut him.
Oh no, yeah, he'd be released first week because I just already know.
Yeah,
he's gonna just get hurdled on or whatever.
Chris Krasinski 2.0.
Ooh, yeah, exactly. Really? Ooh, exactly. That's bad. That's bad.
All right, Scott.
All right, Scott. Well, give your 2 cents.
I thought we were good. +2 mentality. I drank the like Kool-Aid of hype, like, oh, first round pick, Urban Meyer, like
practice
field. Let's do it. And I was like, oh, same old stuff. same old Jaguar, just a new skin, new
mentality, a new era.
They're owning it. They're owning that. They're owning that they're bad. So yeah. I mean, like Trevor Lawrence, he threw some bombs, which is like really like
he was good,
really nice to watch.
I'm not worried about him. I'm worried about the coach.
I'm not worried about him.
It's the other 52 players.
he can just like launch that ball, and I was just like, dang, this is awesome. This looks good.
Coach has set him up to fail. That's the thing.
Mm-hmm,
exactly.
Mm-hmm. Like, and then like apparently defense is like non-existent in our team. Like
fundamentals, man.
Like I watched like NFL Red Zone, and I always see the like.
I'm sorry.
I always see the like Texans in the red zone. I was like, dang, I where's our defense? What happened? So I don't know what's going on defense. We need to fix that. And yeah, like I added Trevor Lawrence to my fantasy football team, so we'll see what happens.
All right, there you go. That's a nice cherry on top to the thing. So okay, so for me, we just got out coached, man. Like a dude named David Culley outcoached Urban Meyer. Yeah, I didn't know. People were calling him on Twitter David Duchovny. I was like, David Duchovny is out coaching Urban Meyer. You could already see Urban Meyer just slowly melt as that game was going on. I was like, can this guy like not have his hands on his knees just for the first game? Not look like they're losing a college football playoff game or something. I understand he's removed from football, but this is a 17-game season, and his body language, has been kind of up and down. And I'll give him some time to get used to it, but that wasn't good. The offense was terrible. I mean, Lawrence throwing 51 times is just not. I mean, they even preached it before. A way to help a rookie quarterback's best friend is the running game, and they only ran it 10 times, which you had all this time to prepare for week 1. Like week 1, you should be the most prepared out of all the games, and you literally were not prepared at any point in the game. So I was just like, what are they doing? And then they just out schemed us, man. Like the defense the defense was there, but the play calling for Texans were just great. I mean, they were just doing a lot of like pick plays and all that stuff that just got the defense out of its position. I mean, players were just like Wingard. I mean, let's talk Wingard. We talked about, but Kayvon Chason. There were some times he tried to sack Tyrod. There was a play where he had nobody blocking him. He goes after Tyrod, misses it once, and then misses him again.
Really?
Like he's Michael Vick. I was like, this is the same Tyrod Taylor that we beat in the playoffs, and now he looks like he looks like he was Deshaun Watson out there. I was like, you got to be kidding me. And then, you know, I didn't. And then another thing with the Jaguars, they changed the people, like the players changed their numbers like the night before. So I was saying like,
what the heck?
It was like number 90. I was like, where's Taven Bryan? I see he's number 93 now. I was like, oh, you're hiding
sacrilegious.
I know he's trying to use Calais Campbell's number to, you know. And then Jihad Ward was number 6. I was like, I don't know. I was like, is
I'm not used to that,
dude. Like,
I'm not used to a defensive end wearing a single digit number.
Yeah, I was like, what in the world? And then I don't know, that confused me. And then, you know, we just got outplayed. Like, that's just plain simple. Trevor made some great throws, but it was garbage time. Like, the thing that just kind of pisses me off is that we have all this cap space. We could have brought in veterans that weren't on this 1-15 team. Like, these dudes lost 15 times in a row. They don't know how to win.
Yeah.
Like, they need to bring better. They need to replace the people who are part of that losing streak with veterans who know how to win. And this is what you get. Like, you can't spend on middle tier dudes. Like, you got to go after the big guys. You know, you got to go. You have to take your shot.
Get Aaron Rodgers.
I mean, not just on the defensive side of the ball.
He was pretty bad last Sunday.
In TIAA Bank, he was horrible.
Dude, real quick, Jameis Winston. He looked like a god out there.
LASIK Jameis, bro. Like he's like,
he looked prepared.
All those weird Doctor Strange type workouts he did in the offseason worked.
I don't know what happened. I mean, you know, he's the real deal. Like I thought when we played him in preseason, he was just like, I was like,
we just sucked,
man. Yeah, I know. I thought we just sucked, but he was actually real good.
Yeah.
So yeah, just, you know, Jaguars, just get better, please, because I'm trying to temper my expectations because it's week 1. But when it gets to week 4, week 5, and our schedule is pretty difficult. Yeah. Like Texans were kind of like the game to get our first win under our belt. Everyone else, like you got Teddy, you got Kyler, you got Burrow. Like,
oh my God,
those are our 3 QBs we're facing in 11 days. We got who are we facing? Teddy Bridgewater this week. We got the Broncos.
Oh,
next
Broncos.
Week, next week's Kyler and the Cardinals.
Oh my gosh,
and then it's a short turnaround in Cincinnati. With Joe Burrow. So we might be 0-4.
So we're facing like Thanos' army. Jeez.
I know.
I mean, the way we're playing, bro, it's like we the scrubs.
Oh no.
Like we're letting dudes. I mean, we should have known the first play of the game when it looked like a pick, when he should have just bat the ball down, just like a defensive player would do. Not try to do the simultaneous catch because simultaneous catch always goes to the offense. But no, we had to just try to make a big play when it backfired. Brandon Cooks looked like he was damn 8 feet tall out there.
Yeah. So the second time it happened with Andrew Wingard, I was like, I'm done. This is over.
Yeah. And he drove down the field with like 7 seconds to go. That was uncalled. Like, I was surprised they actually had the ball because I thought they were gonna kneel and just go into half like down 27. Like, cool, we got the ball back in the second half. Let's make it 2014.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, you blink your eyes, it's 27-7. I'm like, this is last year's Jaguars. I was like,
oh no.
I wanted to tell the team, like, hey, you guys, we got Trevor Lawrence. We don't have to lose anymore.
Yeah.
Seriously, like,
yeah.
So we'll see. we'll see, man. Like you know, we were ranting there, but as Jaguar fans, we've been through a lot, man. Like we've been through a lot more lows and highs, and it's just been, this is kind of like we were supposed to get to the top, start
Right,
moving
yeah.
up, moving up, positives. Urban was, he was talking it up, like we got some good people, all that stuff. Like we got the best coaches, blah blah. We got the practice field coming up, blah blah blah. And just to lay an egg in the first game,
Right,
against a team that's run by David Duchovny, like
David Duchovny.
I mean,
it's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. It's fine. We got the Broncos. Got the Broncos this week. We'll be fine.
What's y'all's like record prediction?
Yep.
Off the top, record prediction.
No comment.
We'll be, to be honest, okay, we'll be lucky.
I'll give you a legit answer after the second game.
Okay.
I'll give you a legit answer.
I'll give you an answer.
Stay tuned, everybody.
If we don't get, we gotta at least get 5 games, 5-6 games. I know it's an improvement, but let's give me 5-6 games and let me be competitive. Like if we're competitive throughout the season, then yes, like maybe 5-6 games. But if we bring in the same mentality,
+2,
like last week, -200 mentality, it's a wrap, man. Like,
oof, it's gonna be a rough season.
But keep the faith, y'all. We gotta keep the faith.
We got an extra game, right? This season.
Yeah, 17 games.
You could look at it 2 ways: an extra chance to win or an extra chance to lose.
There's no way. There's no way.
Yes, sir.
We are not going 1-16.
Okay?
No, it's not happening. Not with Trevor Lawrence. Not with James. Like we'll beat Texans again. Like we still got them. And the silver lining is Texans are 1-0. Everyone else is 0-1. So a win in this week, we're back in the saddle. So
true that.
There's the silver lining to leave you guys with. We're all right. Okay.
Bench Andrew Wingard. That is all.
Yes. I'll put that in the show notes.
and watch Why the Last Man. Bench Andrew Wingard. Watch Detective Pikachu.
Yes.
Boom.
All right. Okay. So with that, we're gonna end the pod here. Thank you guys for listening. Don't forget to rate and review the pod. Follow us on our social medias in the show notes below. Thank you to Scott and Neil for joining me tonight. It was a pleasure. And we will talk to you guys next time. Peace out.